Hey, good afternoon. This is Tim Richardson. Thanks for joining us. 5 big buying mistakes you can avoid. So we're going to be learning about RVs and how to protect yourself when you're out there shopping around and buying RVs and all that good stuff. So while we're waiting for everybody to get logged in here, and I'm going to be bringing in a guest expert here in a little bit too to help us answer some of your tough questions. I'm going to show you where the questions, you can pop them in anytime throughout our time together. Find the chat area. In fact, go ahead in there. Just give us a shout out where you're watching from, like the city. I love to hear what cities everybody's watching this from, and all the other folks in. So this will be recorded. We'll send you a replay. So at the end of this, you'll get about 2 hours after you'll get an email with the link. So you can just replay this so you don't have to take crazy notes. And I've got a handout and stuff for you too. So they're getting an echo. So let me see if we can fix the echo. How about now? Is that better, folks? Susan, we're going to start over again. My name is Tim Richardson, and I'm bringing in a special guest. In fact, he's right there. His name is Josh Durnell. Thanks, Josh.
Hey, guys. How is everyone?
Good. So the echo is terrible, but I think we got it cleared up now, right? All right, perfect. Thank you guys for helping us with the technology. So we should be good on the echo, but yeah, we have a lot to cover, a lot of training we want to give these folks. And the whole reason that Josh and I are here, in fact, I personally I'm not even on payroll at RV Wholesalers. So, but the owners and have come to me and said, hey, Tim, can you and our guys get together and just help educate folks? Like, obviously, RV Wholesalers can't sell to everybody. There's going to be 600,000 RVs get sold this year, Josh, and so they can only do a little piece of that. It's like, why not help everybody make sure they're not getting ripped off and make sure that they get the most for their hard-earned dollar? And so that's our goal today: equip you. And we have Kevin out in Lansing. Thanks for joining us, Susan. Kevin, thanks for being patient with us. We got that technology fixed. So very cool. Let's dive in. And so about myself, I've been doing the virtual RV show, producing that for about 12 episodes and helping a lot of people on webinars. I think we're at like 90,000 people that we've helped so far this year. So it's been kind of fun helping out. But the guys that really make it happen are like Josh, that's got all the answers. So here's my first RV trip, Josh. This is crazy, but my dad actually built this RV. So when we had went on our camping trip, I'll never forget the night, about 2 a.m, I woke up, asked my mom, we were out on this lean-to with my whole family. And I was like, Mom, I want to sleep in the RV. So we go and sleep in the RV. Next morning, my brothers are walking around the campsite and they found huge black bear prints. I was like, oh, no. Thank goodness we were in the RV. They came after the little kids. So I like to say, like, RVs saved my life. So I have a special place in my heart for RVing. And I know you do too, Josh, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you grow up around camping with campgrounds? And
it's all I know, Tim. Yeah,
your grandparents started a campground, right?
Grandparents have owned a campground since before I was born. That's kind of, had all my friends come up on the weekends and got to see them and everything. They structured a house. We were living on the property, if you will. But yeah, just I think we had like 200 some campers there, and we're still adding on and stuff. But yeah, camping. I've been around campers all my life. It's kind of all I know. So.
And you own one too, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So yeah, so this guy has helped a lot of folks, and so hopefully we get some good questions we can stump you with today. So first one, I see people not asking for the outdoor price. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because this is important.
Absolutely, Tim. So first and foremost, great place to start, out the door price. So there is a large misconception, okay? A lot of dealerships, and I'm sure a lot of you folks that are tuning in have been doing your research enough. You always start off with the price, right? I mean, in your mind, no matter what you're buying, first thing I think of importance would be the best price, right? That's what we're searching for. So upon finding the best price, and we'll dive into a couple of the things later, but upon finding the best price, what a lot of people misunderstand, is that's not the out the door price. All right. Now the out the door price, the definition for those that are wondering, is the true dollar amount that you are paying to leave that location with the RV. Okay. So yes, and
So everything. I mean,
everything.
taxes.
Yep.
I mean, everything. Okay.
A lot of people, there's so much terminology in the industry, and again, a lot of people, there's some dealerships, shame on them, that they are deceitful in this aspect, and there are some customers that just simply may have not done the research or are asking the appropriate questions to get this information out of the dealership that they're working with. So that's kind of our goal, guys. Everyone tuning in, is we just want to be able to equip you with the tools and the knowledge, if you will, to make sure that you're getting the out the door price up front, and make sure that it is exactly what you're expecting, and also the things you should and should not be subject to when purchasing an RV from location to location. So
yeah, can you dive into that a little bit? Because
sure.
let me put up this slide here. So hidden fees, that's where I'm seeing like, man, this is crazy. What I've been hearing stories, and you probably have some stories from the front lines, I hope,
I certainly
from
do.
even this week, that you can tell us, like, because see, Josh is taking calls and orders and stuff from people from all over the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're hearing, like, what other prices dealers have given people and kind of how things shake out. So I'm sure you can help fill us in on this. But
yeah, I mean, to dive right in, I'd say, I mean, of all of the hidden fees, PDI, transportation, dock and title, that's kind of one that everyone's going to be subject to. We'll dive into that. And environmental coatings, cleaning, prep, the walkthrough, all of these things associated with the purchase of this price that honestly, in our opinion, should be included. And we'll get to that in a second. I guess we just start at the front.
Yeah, let's talk about PDI. In fact, before we do that, I'm going to give everybody this PDF of this document so they don't have to take notes. All right. Mm-hmm. So let me post this for you. So this is a little free one-page PDF. Download that when you get a chance, so you don't have to write all this down, and that'll be there for you. Hopefully that's showing up for you guys. And don't be afraid to ask questions while we're going through this. We'll keep monitoring for questions. So, all right, what is PDI?
Of course. So the pre-delivery inspection, guys, now I'm referring to a new unit. I'll touch base on a used unit in just a moment. But for those of you that are interested in purchasing a new RV, a lot of dealerships right now are going to charge you to prep that RV. So what that is that's when we take possession of a new RV from the manufacturer. It was just built. It just got delivered to our location, and it's about to go back out for the customer to either pick up or have that unit delivered to them. So first and foremost, a inspection process should be done 100%. Okay. You do want to ensure that the manufacturer did not miss anything, skip over anything, or simply have a quick job to get it out the door. And then, so long story short, those are things that we deal with at a dealership level that we want to make sure, or ensure, I should say, that the customer does not experience those negative issues or have those things happening to them. So we're kind of the safe net, if you will. We're going to go through that unit. We're going to prep it. We're going to clean it. We're going to test all the systems, all the functions on that trailer, make sure everything works. Now, a lot of dealerships, you're going to see them charge you for that. Okay. Now that's where it's a no-no. Okay. They should be doing the process. Yes. Should they be charging you for it? Absolutely not. Because if I were to, let's just say I'm prepping this RV, right? And the water heater, it's just not getting hot. Okay. There's obviously a component that's either failed or malfunctioning. So we want to diagnose that and fix it, right? I'm spending my time to do this process, to inspect this RV, to fix these things that the manufacturer missed. The manufacturer pays me to do those things. Okay. And in some cases, we get paid a lot of money to fix those things. We can make upwards of $3,000 on a camper. Seriously, like that's our time of fixing all the things that they missed. So
it's kind of like a second wave of quality control tests after it goes across the road the first time.
That's a great way to put it. That is a great way to put it.
And they pay for it.
Yes, and they pay us for it. So now we're not making a whole bunch of money on every camper. Like, and matter of fact, now one of the things people are worried about is that they're building them so fast that they're missing things. I find that to be the opposite. And Tim, you actually did a tour of the factory.
Yeah, I've been going over there with our host from our virtual show, David, and we go in with cameras, and we've been in about 5 factories, about 3 different occasions over the and that's what I was surprised. Yeah, like that's what I thought too. Like they're probably going downhill, but
right.
That was actually opposite.
I think a lot of people, I'm on all the forums, all the groups and stuff. A lot of people are freaking out right now. Now, wait to buy. Right now, you're going to overpay for it, and it's going to come to you like junk. If anything, I find it to be the opposite, right? I mean, sure, prices are going up. We can't control prices of steel and lumber, and we can touch base on that stuff quickly later on. But
I just heard the guys at lunch were like, "Hey, there's another price increase coming in today.
We're getting another one today." I mean, we don't have control over this, guys. The manufacturer sets the prices. At the end of the day, we got to pay more for them too. So we're just as upset as you guys are. But at the end of the day, we've not raised prices $1 for the whole taking advantage of people for the supply and demand. And I'm not trying to use this time as my podium by any means, but again, there's a lot of dealerships right now that are doing just that. If they have it in stock, it's because they're asking about 10 grand more for it. And there's probably 20 people that went to buy that camper before you, but they were either smart enough to walk away because of all the hidden fees, or they were just shocked at the asking price after they've quoted it with other dealers and noticed, wow, you guys are asking $10,000 more. That's insane. So, but yeah, back to the prep real quick, just to wrap that up. On a new RV, you should not be subject to the fee. Okay, every RV should come with that already the inspection process already done, everything taken care of well before your arrival. That way, you can make sure that you're not going to have those issues. So, should it be done? Yes. Should it cost you? No. I'm getting that money from the manufacturer. If I'm charging you to prep this RV, that just means I want more money out of your pocket. And so real quick before we get into the next thing, I had a gentleman, he ended up purchasing from us, awesome guy, great guy to work with. But he told me, he says, well, this dealership I'm working with, and I try not to say names, but this dealership that I'm working with, they have a lot of locations, and they're charging me something called a peace of mind fee. And I said, well, that's a new one. What all are they saying comes with that? And he says, well, for $1,499, they're going to prep the camper, they're going to clean the camper, they're going to give me a walk through the camper, and last but not least, they're going to fill my propane, give me a power cord, and they're going to give me a starter kit. Nice. So those 6 things sound like a large amount of value. Thank you. Really, what it is it's a larger piece of your pocket. See what I did there, Tim? Is that they're calling it a peace of mind fee. It's really just to get more money out of your pocket. And as soon as he told me that, I laughed. And he says, well, I mean, can you explain it? I said, well, absolutely. First and foremost, the prep should be done. Just like I've just told you folks, the prep should already be done. That's free. And if they did it correctly, they would have made twice the amount of money that they're charging you from the manufacturer, who actually deserves to be held responsible, held accountable for those mistakes that they had missed or had done. But I even told him, I said, propane, we fill that here at a dealership level. Your tanks deserve to be
I know you guys don't even advertise that, but that's just like what you do.
We don't think that it's necessary to advertise it, right? Because at the end of the day, it's something we should be doing for you. You're doing business with us.
I had a friend of mine that just ordered one the other day, and that was his big question. It's like, is there any way like I could get the tanks filled? I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's actually standard.
Propane's going to be filled. The gas tank's on a motorhome. Yeah, propane's going to be filled. The gas tank's going to be filled. And I even told him, I said, sir, those are all things that we do here for free. And he didn't know that because we didn't tell him that. We hadn't crossed that bridge yet. But I said, the power cord, that comes from the factory. So, and I'm not joking when I tell you this. They take the power cord out of the camper and they put it in a really nice box, and then they put their name on it.
To you as part of your package.
And they're giving it back to you. And I'm like, you have to understand, right? Like that if that doesn't show you who you're working with, I don't know what else will. I really don't. So, and there's so many people that sell RVs. You don't have to be subject to that. At the end of the day, I mean, if they have the one that you want and you can't find it anywhere else, I mean, whatever that situation is, let's say they're the last people on earth that have this thing and they're not going to budge, play hardball, walk out. Okay. Sure. Someone foolish enough may come and buy that camper. It is what it is, but you shouldn't be subject to that. Any dollar more that you're spending on this RV to get it sooner is not going to be anywhere close to what you're going to get back out of it when it's time to sell, right? You don't want to start off on a bad foot is what I'm trying to get to. So please don't be subject to PDI fees. That is not That is a greedy tactic. I'll put it that way. It's double dipping. It's a way to get more money out of your pocket, or another piece of your other pocket, I guess. So yeah, don't be subject to that, guys. It's not.
The sad thing is that people don't realize there are going to be these extra fees until they get to the end, and it's like, so there's kind of 2 stages in the process. There's the part where you pick out your camper, RV, and then you have a sales agreement and you put down a deposit and you either order it or then there's the part when they get it ready or it's being built, and then it comes to, and then you come in and you pick it up. But first you sign your paperwork, and then you do a walkthrough, and your kids figure out which bunks they're gonna go in, and everybody's excited at that point. And that's a lot of times where these fees are gonna pop up. Like, you're signing that final paperwork, it's like, oh yeah, that's the price I paid. Oh, I don't remember this PDI thing, or
they call them hidden fees
thing.
Exactly. I mean, they're called hidden fees for a reason.
Yeah.
And
don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you said it exactly right. It's when you're in front of like Tim, just like what we are. If I'm the finance manager and you're the customer, you're gonna say, well, sir, why am I being charged $1,499 for this package, and why was I not told about it before?
Exactly. I'm
gonna look at you like you're stupid. And I'm gonna say, well, Tim, you don't want this trailer to leak, do you? The first time you have it out, you don't want it to leak, do you? You want to make sure everything's taken care of, don't you? Yeah, that's why you got to pay for this, buddy.
And what are you going to do? Like, what am I going to do at that point? Like, my kids are like ready to get in it. We've got the schedule set up for the camping this weekend.
Waited 4 months to get.
We waited 4 months, right?
You're at the mercy of the dealership at that point, but it doesn't mean that you have to be. So
so don't be afraid to ask for this stuff
at the very least.
Ask these very specific questions. Is there going to be a PDI fee? How much is that going to be? It's not hidden if you know what it is.
Yes,
figured that into your
they can do what they can to try to hide it in there. But if you come and I tell all of our sales associates this, right? When we're going up to fight for a customer's business, if you're going into a gunfight, you want every bullet in that gun as you possibly can. If I only have 1 or 2 bullets, I'm gonna lose every time. But you as a customer, me as a salesman, if we go into that fight with as much knowledge and as many things on our side as we can, that's when we win those fights. In some cases, these other dealerships or the salespeople or the finance guys, if this type of buyer goes into there, I mean, I'd be a dealership's worst nightmare, right? Because I know exactly what to ask for, exactly what I'm supposed to be getting, and I know that I'm not going to settle for this purchase if someone else out there is going to do all these things for me, right? So, yes, long story short, yes, please don't be subject to this stuff, guys. That's a big greedy tactic. It's just to get more money out of your pocket. And at the end of the day, that's going to tell you who you're working with. Not everybody has these fees, but the big guys seem to. So
yeah, no, that's good. Before we go on to a couple more fees, I wanted to kind of finish up that one thing we were talking about, like why we feel after going to the factories, the quality is better because I forgot to mention that what I saw is previous years when I've been there, they would run maybe for a couple of hours one floor plan, and then they would switch floor plans, and then they would run that, and then it kept switching. Now what I'm seeing is they're running multiple days on the same floor plan, so they're getting it's just you do something the same every time you switch, it's kind of when it
kind of becomes like a muscle memory almost,
exactly,
right? It becomes a second nature when you're doing the same job for twice, if not 3 times as long.
Yeah.
And it's making it easier on the manufacturers too. A lot of people.
And all the parts are there. They're not.
Parts are there.
Up parts.
Exactly. Makes the whole process so much easier.
That's why I feel like it's definitely got better. So.
Yep. No, and it really has. The only thing I'm noticing now are little silly stuff. Like if a piece of trim is too long, they're probably not going to take the time to go cut another inch off. They're just going to staple it on. But that's what my guys are for. We're going to be that safe net. We're going to be the last piece of the process here that makes sure that you have a great experience. So, but yes, long story short, don't be subject to that stuff, guys. It's just another way to get more money out of your pocket. So yeah, don't let them do it.
Yeah, talk about transportation. I know that's kind of an unusual thing in this industry compared to like car industry.
Right.
Like, how does that work?
So let's put it this way, 85% of RVs come from Indiana. Okay. The cost of them doing business there is about half of what it is compared to their Oregon district. Okay. Which Forest River and Winnebago, they do have plants out there. But again, I mean, we're talking half of the cost of doing business with taxes, land, everything, getting the materials in. So all of the more quality units, for example, come from Indiana. All right, that's where they can get the more readily available products, so on and so forth. So let's just say a dealership in Texas, they have to get the same camper from the same place that was made by the same people under the same roof as the one that I have on my lot will come from and be made from, right?
But and where are you guys? You guys are.
Oh, yes. So I'm talking to you from my Ohio location, and I'm choosing Texas as an example because we do have a location down there. But me and Tim we're from the Ohio branch here. But
which, that area is just northwest of Columbus, about an hour.
Yeah. Yep. You kind of almost central, but not really. Yeah. So just kind of out there a little bit. But yes. Long story short, it cost us a couple $100 to get a camper here. Whereas the dealership in Texas, it's going to cost a couple $1,000. So regardless, that's a couple $1,000 that they cannot compete with me for, right? Now,
so if you're going head to head with someone on price.
If I was going head to head with someone on price, I know for a fact, because and dealerships in Texas can be very deceitful. All right, that's another reason. I mean, I find Texas, Louisiana, and Florida to be three of the most difficult states to buy an RV from, and that's because people typically just, not everyone wants to drive up here to save money, right? So, but at the end of the day, again, it's a factual, thing that RV dealership in Texas will spend thousands more to get the unit to them so that they can sell, and then they still have to do all of these things that we do and make them make a profit on it. So ultimately, a dealership in Texas, they can't compete with my prices. But what they do is they advertise a much lower price than what I can sell it for. That way you don't have to second guess. Hey, wow, this is the best price I can find, honey. We got to pick up the kids and go to Texas right now. This sounds too good to be true. Well, it's going to be, because once you get there, the freight fee alone. Now the honest dealerships, they're going to roll that into their price. Okay, our Texas location is almost 2,000. Every single trailer, Ibex, Rockwood, Mini Light, it does not matter. Every single trailer is $2,000 more, and that is in our price that you do the quotes on. That's because it costs that much money to get it from Indiana to Texas. Other dealerships, what they like to do is they like to keep that as a separate fee, hidden, of course, right? So that's why I say when the honest dealers, you'll know who you're working with, because their price is going to be a couple $1,000s more. The deceitful ones, they're going to wait till you're face to face. That way they have you are at their mercy, and that's when you're going to find out about that free fee. And seriously, I can only imagine all of the people that are subject and at the mercy of said dealership, because they either waited forever to find that camper or to order it, or they just drove a really long way because that's where they found the best price. And then what happens, right? Long story short, this is what we're trying to avoid. This is what we're trying to keep from happening to people. There's too much of it happening right now. And this is our way of combating that and informing people that it's not supposed to be like that. Okay, so, but yeah, you said something interesting, how it's different from a car. I've told a lot of customers that, why is it so much money? Why, a lot of customers for some reason are under the impression that RVs are trailered where they're going. That'd be thousands more, right? So, yes. So anyway, the cars. It's different in the car industry, because when a dealership has a shipment of cars taken to them, let's say the new Corvette, for example. I've been driving down the highway on the way to play golf or something, and I'll pass a semi and it's carrying like 10 or 11 of these new Corvettes. Well, that one dealership that they're on the way to had to pay one large fee. Let's call it, $2,000. But that $2,000 to get 11 pieces there can be distributed evenly amongst those asking prices, right? So compared to an RV, where that one individual shipment for that RV is going to be $2,000. There's not really, unless it's a little pop-up or a very small RV, there's not a way to transport multiple of them at the same time. And in most cases would be illegal, because you'd be so over height and so over length that you wouldn't make it out of the driveway before you get pulled over, So, but yes, transportation, that is something that you will see on the deal. I just want to make it clear that, like I said, the deceitful dealerships, it will be a hidden fee. The more honest ones, it'll be up front. And again, not everybody wants to drive to Ohio to save $2,000 or $3,000. I understand that. But at the end of the day, 90% of people, they use their RVs to travel. So what I find is that, hey, you're going to use this RV to do exactly what you would do to save money, and that $2,000 or $3,000 is what, 2 or 3 years in reservations. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people, impulse decisions or impulse buyers, they want it today. They're not going to drive to Ohio. I get it, guys. I'm kind of the same
you guys
way.
Deliver everywhere.
I was going to say
we going to be a
do
big sales
deliver
thing for you guys, but we'll talk a little bit more.
Oh,
people start asking.
Sure,
like, they're like,
sure.
where are you guys? Like, so Josh is with RV Wholesalers, and we'll put up his contact information later. But yeah, let's keep diving in. Oh, one thing on the transportation. This is kind of a cool golden nugget. Make sure that when you buy this thing, that it's separated out the transportation fee from your purchase price, because you shouldn't have to pay sales tax on that. So make sure that could save you some sales tax dollars, and that
is a very good
that should be separated out. And then two, when you're doing the calculation, like Josh was saying, if you're in Florida, do the math from Orlando, Florida, or wherever you live, to Elkhart, Indiana, and that'll tell you what you should be expecting. So if you're getting hit with a $3,500 fee for transportation, that's out of whack with what we're saying. It should be more closer to the $2 range, probably.
Yep. Well, and I mean, with gas prices raising, of course, that is subject to change. But ultimately, I would find, yes, because there are dealerships that are going to inflate that. And again, it's more like, once the trailer goes from Indiana to California, you probably don't have many to choose from. So again, it makes it harder to be able to fight for that appropriate deal. But again, plenty of people sell these things. If you're not getting the experience that you deserve with your local guy, don't be afraid to branch out a little bit. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering about service. Hopefully we have a chance to touch base on that just real quick. But, again, biggest thing, making sure you're not subject to these things that you should not be, of course. So, but yes, transportation fees should be subject to it. Just make sure you know about it. Okay. Again, the guys in Texas, the guys in Florida, they can't come even close to competing with my prices, because their cost of doing business and getting them the products is way different and way more expensive than what it would be here in Ohio, which is typically why you find a price thousands of dollars cheaper than where you're from. So,
hey, shout out to Jeff and Mike. Thanks for helping Dan answer his question about where to find that file. I never see what it looks like for you guys, so we don't know. Like, I just posted and share the files, so I didn't know what it looked like. So that helps me too. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Talk about dock and title. That's one fee that you would see, right?
Yes, dock and title fee. You should see that. So, especially on a new RV, we are creating a title out of an MSO. So, with every trailer, whether it's a utility trailer, RV, camper, doesn't necessarily matter. We're getting an MSO from the manufacturer, and we have to convert that to a title. Not only that, but we do have to flip it into your state if you are traveling here from out of state. So we would have to do that for you, and there is money associated with that, bills to be taken care of when it comes to that stuff. So our dock and title fee is $295. That satisfies everything in order to get your title. For lack of better terms, I'm losing my head here, but to process, that is the word, to process your title, that is what it is. The most expensive one I've ever seen was like $695. That was in New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
I know New Jersey is a little bit different than us, but I really think that was more of a inflation on the dealership level than what it would be anywhere else. Again, I've never lived there. Maybe someone in the chat might be from there. You guys can tell me. But yes, long story short, that's the highest I've ever seen. I do feel as if that was inflated to get more money out of your pocket, but I didn't know what their other fees are. So again, who knows? Every dealership has different tactics, if you will. But yes, dock and title, you're going to be subject to. If it seems crazy though, like $695, if it throws a red flag, I would maybe just ask around or do some more research before you do consider yourself subject to that. But yes.
No, that's good. Any last fees you want to touch on?
Well, again, as far as prep, guys, that should be done on a used RV. That I do, just to roll into that real quick. I do understand that you might want, if you are buying a used RV from a dealership.
Actually, about 45% of people say they've already. 55% said this is their first time purchasing an RV. The other 45 either have done it once or have probably found out the hard way. Like, man, there's some things I should probably do differently the second time I buy an RV. So thank you guys for coming to this place to figure this out. And thank you, Josh, for bringing all these golden nuggets here.
Of course.
We've got some big ones coming up too.
Well, and Tim, we appreciate you. I see, I'm on our Facebook page all the time, and I see a lot of comments. One in particular caught my eye. A customer says, "I wish I would have watched this before I bought, because I just got," he said feed, I think, but he capitalized. He was trying to say he got, and yes. So he said he got feed to death. And I mean, again, hopefully you understand, guys, like, you don't have to be subject to this stuff. You can happily walk away. It's not, and a lot of people, I think right now, they know if this one is in stock, it might be the only chance I get to get it this year. What's that matter? What does 3 or 4 months for a wait for an RV matter when you're going to have this thing for the next 2 to 5 years? In those 2 and 5 years, of all the memories you're going to make and all the places you're going to go, that 3-month wait will mean nothing to you. So don't spend thousands more to get it a couple months sooner when you plan on having this thing for that long. It's not rational, because at the end of the day, what if that trailer doesn't work for you? You're going to lose. I mean, the second you drive it off the lot alone is going to be a huge hit, but that extra money that you spent to get it sooner, it's gonna be bad. We don't want to hear that, and it actually makes my job harder too, right? I mean, if I get a guy that, yes, with trade-in, yes, exactly. I hate being the bad guy, and when I have to tell somebody, sir, there's no way I'm even getting close to your payoff. You spent way too. I mean, once I get down to it, if I find out that what he spent on it, got guy in Texas, he calls me a couple months ago and he says, I got a 2020. I used it one time. It's in a stored barn. I clean it after every time. Yada yada yada. What do you give me for it? I said, probably about $10,000 less than what you paid for it a couple weeks ago. Really? Why? Because I could have saved that money if you bought it here. So I don't want to be the bad guy, but also sell it where you are. That way you can recoup that money. I mean,
yeah, that's a good point. I just put not getting most for your trade-in, but so you're saying sell it outright.
So a real quick story just to understand, because like a lot of people, and Tim, I'm sure you've heard this, folks, I'm sure you've heard this. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it's going to take a hit, right? Honestly, that hit can determine where you're buying it from. Okay, so 2 things. Guy from Florida calls me. He was about to buy a 2018 Heritage Glen fifth wheel. It was on the showroom floor inside. And I mean, down in Florida, these dealerships are beautiful. Like, I mean, Taj Mahal, but they're making millions more than what we'll ever even fathom, right? So he was about to spend $75,000 on a 2018 fifth wheel that had been sitting, and this is the end of 2019, I believe it was, that we were, kind of negotiating everything. Long story short, he finds me, he couldn't believe I was selling that same camper for $45,000, but mine was a 2020. Okay, it wasn't. Again, his is 2018, mine was 2020. 75 versus 45. Was it 30 grand?
30, yeah.
He couldn't believe it. He didn't even believe I was real. And I'm like, well, here's BBB, here's the video. We FaceTimed. After I was able to earn his trust, I sold him within an hour. Okay. But he basically took my purchase agreement back into that dealership. And I think his intentions were, nah, boo-boo, you tried to screw me and I didn't let you. That camper was already sold. They sold it to someone else. They sold that camper to somebody else between the hours of 5 p.m. on a Friday and 12 o'clock noon on a Saturday. They sold that camper to somebody else. So there's truly somebody else out there in this world that could have bought almost 2 campers new for the price that they spent for one that was 2 years older. Even though it was a still brand new camper, that's reality. And I cannot. So yes, there are places in the world where if you buy, you could have absolutely taken a huge hit that you may never recover from. There's no secret. But for example, so one more example, I have a customer in Colorado. I talk about him a lot on these webinar shows. He buys one from me every about 16 to 18 months. So his is on order right now. He should receive it within the next 4 to 6 weeks. Basically, he's going to take his RV. He's going to drive here from Colorado. He's going to pick up his new one. He's going to use it this year. He's going to use it next season. And then right before the end of that season, he's going to sell it. And he's going to call me and place his order. That way he has another one coming in, but he's selling it out in Colorado. Guys, I'm not joking when I say he's never lost $1. He's always broken even.
So he comes out ahead. Wow, that's awesome.
I mean, you could call it coming out ahead. You could call it breaking out even. At the end of the day, though,
I mean, I'd say coming out ahead because he got the camp and
you got to
it,
use 2 seasons. He uses the 2 seasons, and he does it this way because, like right now, his unit should come in as a 2022.
Wow,
that's insane. I mean, that's awesome for him, of course, and because that's what he plans on doing. He wants to get out of it before the depreciation catches up. That's awesome. That is a great idea. But same thing in Ohio. If you bought it today, you're going to take a little hit if you trade it back into me. RVs are depreciating factors. They're meant to make memories and have fun. It's the complete opposite of a house or something like that. But at the same time, it's really the same. But anyway, this is what we're talking about here. There's be smart with the purchasing. Don't spend more to get it tomorrow because you're going to have a really difficult time getting out of it later. And at the very least, that's thousands more out of your pocket that can go in other things. Camping is not cheap. We spend, I had a customer tell me this one time. He says, I've spent over $100,000 this year just to live like I'm homeless. And kind of funny, because that's what we do, right? We take RVs, we go out to the woods, we cook over the fire. We're living like we're homeless, but we're spending lots of money to do it, right? I thought it was funny that he said that. So, but you shouldn't spend any more than what you should to get it. That's all I'm trying to accomplish, because you're not going to keep it forever. You're going to come back in a couple of years. You're going to upgrade. Things change every day, and
yeah. Speaking on the used things, before we get to a couple questions, what do you recommend then? Say someone is getting ready to buy a new one, but they have a used one they want to trade in. So you're saying to go ahead and sell it outright? Is that probably where you get your?
Right now, yeah. Which I know what I'm saying is contradicting, right? Don't spend more than what you have to. But I mean, I'm catering to a handful of people right here that are in the buying process. I'm telling everybody right now, you could either take my trade offer for thousands of dollars less, or you could ride this wave of supply and demand. All right.
Yeah, this time it's crazy what people are getting for these.
I just offered a guy 12.5 it was like a 2012 fifth wheel. Offered him 12.5, booked for 13. So I mean, it's more than fair. He sold it for like 17.9 the next morning.
Really?
I'm like, so serious, and kudos to him. Listen, if there's someone out there, because that's a huge segment. I mean, there's different segments of the market, right? I would say buying new, those 600,000 trailers sounds like a lot. That's probably, I mean, let's call it 40% of the market. I honestly, that'd be generous. Heck, let's call it 30, right? There's still actually one of the biggest segments are the people that wait for those people to sell, and then they swoop in and buy because you only used it a couple times. Right. You took the hit. I'd say that's the largest market, but then the rest would be used, right? Which is considerably much larger. But ultimately, the used market right now is upside down. Everybody even calling me and asking for used RVs, I'm telling them, I'm sorry, I can't keep them in stock. They're here today and they're gone in an hour. Before I can even go outside and take pictures of them and post them online on our site, I already have it sold on another listing, such as RV Trader or Facebook or something like that.
Yeah, so that'd be good. So Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah. Yeah, for all the people that are interested in selling and putting that money in your pocket, or getting out, or just keeping from having any negative equity into your new RV, selling it on your own is as easy as cleaning it up, taking some pictures, and posting it to an outlet. Facebook Marketplace is fantastic right now. Craigslist, if you're looking to, let's say you have like a big destination trailer that maybe somebody is not going to drive out of state to pick up or something. Craigslist would be the best thing there. But I love Facebook Marketplace because people from all over can see that. It'll expand the horizons, if you will. And then, last but not least, RV Trader is a very good outlet as well, because again, people from all over the country can see that.
Hey, if they need help figuring out what is the book value, so you have access to the NADA books, like the big. It's different than NADA.com, which kind of has averages and stuff.
Averages.
Do you mind if I put up your contact information?
Yeah.
We'll that way. If someone wants to ask you directly, they can get into details, so we don't have to deal with that right now. But,
yeah, of course.
All right, I'll do that. While I'm getting that up, can you talk about? Let's see. One of the questions was, Sandra asked, "What is the average weight now for an order?" Obviously, the ones that are in stock, there's no weight, but.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if it's in stock, clearly no weight. That is to generalize the question. There's a lot of factors actually, so it's kind of hard to say. But to make as quick of a explanation out of that as possible, Sandra. So fiberglass units is what's kind of more so held up right now because of the glue factory in Texas and because of other lamination processes and stuff. It depends on what materials the RV is made out of, and it also depends on how popular the floor plan is. Okay, Coachman, for example, I think they've done a very excellent job at combating what we're going through now. Instead of them offering 30 different floor plans, they're only offering 15. Right, so they're only doing their best sellers right now, and actually they're keeping things underneath that 3-month time mark, which is very impressive. Considering the obstacles that they're overcoming every day and the hurdles they're jumping over. So they're doing a great job. They're putting all their marbles in fewer baskets, thus keeping it less open for options, but more so for what's going to keep them going and what's going to keep them in business, right? I think that was a great way to do that. Other companies, they may not have 30 floor plans. Maybe they only have 5. They're still going to build every single one of those. They're going to do all of this floor plan, then all of this floor plan, then all this one, then this one, and then this one. So it really just depends. Like, I mean, because it only takes a couple of days to actually build the RV, but it might take 3 months to get back to that floor plan. So a ton of factors. What I would tell you is that if you're, before you're interested in placing a commitment down, you should at least have a time frame. The dealership should at least be able to give you a time frame of what to expect. But there will be plenty of variations and factors involved with that to get a closer to not estimate for you. So.
Oh, that's good. Thanks. I always get that question, like used versus new. Should we buy new? And I'll never forget this past October when we were out camping with some friends, and we pulled in. There's a camper right beside us, Chris and Christy. They came over and they're looking at one of these brand new Wildwoods that we had just brought in 2 different trailers, and the Wildwood matched their floor plan exactly. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, oh man, this is perfect for our family. And so they were telling me about theirs, and they had bought it used 3 years ago. It was 4 years old at the time, and I asked them how much they paid for it, and they said $15,000 or $16,000, I guess. But it was 3 years. They've had it for 3 years. So, and then they asked me like, well, how much is this brand new one? I was like embarrassed to sell them. Like, this thing was $15,500. This is actually cheaper than what you paid used 3 years ago. But it has all the bells and whistles and the new tech and everything. It's like, yeah, so definitely do your homework and do your shopping. That's why I'm proud of you guys for hanging out with us and learning all the inside stuff, and got some big ones coming up with the finance side of things, because that's a lot different than car financing and all the different things. So Josh, if you want to dive into that, let's talk about one of the big buying mistakes is not understanding terms on RV financing, but there's this big secret I want you to share.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second, but the financing is 100% something that is misconstrued very, very easily. I tell everybody financing needs to be black and white, no gray areas. So, and of course, there's going to be a big, long contract from the bank and everything. I mean, there's going to be things associated with the contracts that are even a little bit foreign language to myself sometimes, but at the end of the day, that's a huge mistake, not understanding what you're getting into or the contingencies or the strings attached, if you will. First and foremost, I kind of want to give them the surprise or the secret now, I guess. Is that okay?
You want to jump ahead?
So
you got to wait for the slide.
The slide. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead with the slide. I didn't know you prepared
the slide.
All right, now
you can say it.
All right. So
Number 4, not knowing the big dealer financing secret.
So
just tell them.
First and foremost, guys, we're getting a ton of money from the banks to give your business to them. A ton, thousands of dollars.
You as the dealer, or just you personally?
The dealership, unfortunately. Yeah, the dealerships. We get a ton of money for giving your business to the banks. All right. Now I want to back up because I want to make sure everyone understands what's going on behind the scenes when I say this. Right. So again, not understanding the terms. You might show up. I mean, typically the question that's asked to me is, do you finance? Well, yes, we do finance. But not only that, we give you the money that the bank gives us. And they're like, huh? Right. You haven't heard of this because it's not something that most dealerships want you to know about. Right. So, and some car dealerships, they might say, I'll give you a couple $100 if you finance with me. It's typically like a rounded number, like 500 to seem appealing. But that dealership is actually making thousands of dollars from you on the back end. Thousands of dollars.
So this works beyond just RV dealerships. This is cars and everything. Like
Car, anytime that you buy a car, a boat, a motorcycle, an airplane, I don't care what you're buying. If it's a large retail purchase, we are getting a significant amount of money to give your business to the to the banks, right?
What do you call this? Like when this money's coming back from the bank?
I've heard it called a lot of things. Reserve money or kickback would be the official term. I like to think of it as my commission, right? Yeah. I mean, because I get this money back no matter if I like it or if I don't, right? So, I mean, even if I called them and complained, stop giving me money, they're still going to send me a check. So, but
see, I didn't realize this until I started hearing this from you guys. Yeah. Like the only thing I remember hearing is, hey, if you have cash, maybe we can get a little better deal because, you know, you're paying right now for it. We don't have to wait for our money. So that's kind of what's been in my head, but it's actually opposite. It's like, you guys make a lot more money when I finance my RV with you.
I just got an email the other day, and this is why I want to make sure there is black and white. There's no gray areas. A guy emails me the other day, and you could tell he's hot, he's mad, you know. So you're telling me that if I finance with you, or he says, sorry. He says, you're telling me if I pay cash that it's going to be more money? I said, no. It's not going to be more money. Your cash is green no matter what currency it is. I don't care. It's going to be green to me and I'll accept it. But I can get you a better price if you finance. Okay. And then and for those that give me the opportunity, this gentleman clearly did, and I never got a response once I told him cash is no longer king. It hasn't been since the 70s. I will take your cash, but I cannot sell it to you at my best price because I don't have a vault with millions of dollars in it that I can just go take a couple bucks from and give to each customer, right? The banks, that's what I consider my vault. And again, so let me explain what's going on behind the scenes. So anytime that and I'll kind of roll in like not understanding the terms and stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
Because guys, if you're working with a dealership and they've not explained to you what I'm about to, then you're going to know exactly who you're working with and why you may not have an opportunity to understand those terms, right? So first and foremost, the idea to borrow let me back up even another step. So what's going on behind the scenes? The dealerships are working with you. They're writing the loans. They are interacting with you. They're doing everything that the banks normally do. Okay. So what we do is I'm saying, hey, Bank of America, here's this person's business. Take it as you will. I've set it up on the longest term. I've done this. I've done that.
Yeah, you got all the signatures. You got all the hard stuff.
I did all their job for them.
Yeah.
So they're going to say, hey, RV wholesalers, here's a little check for you. Here's a piece of the pie, right? It's a thank you. It's basically my commission. I did all of their job for them. They're the ones that are going to reap those benefits, though, because they'll be collecting the interest from you, right? So, and seriously, like, and Tim, this is going to blow your mind, but like even on a $20,000 purchase,
yeah,
I'm getting almost $2,000 back from the bank.
So not just a few $100. We're talking about
it's like 10%. A $100,000 trailer is almost $10,000.
How much? $100,000, $10,000.
A $100,000 unit equates to almost $10,000 back in reserve money to me. It's insane. And again, they're giving it to me whether I like it or not.
Is that why dealers, like, they say, oh, we got to shop around, like, to get you the best interest rate? Are they actually shopping for better rates from the bank?
They in my opinion, because there's a couple big players. I mean, first and foremost, if you think that you can sell trailers cheaper by having 100 locations, you are in fact correct. My mind. This week has been so long.
We'll edit that out for that replay.
You are in fact incorrect. Okay. The dealership, again, they don't want you to know that they're getting this money, basically. Okay. So what they do in most cases is they're going to do a credit application with you, and then they're going to send it to every bank that they work with. Okay. And again, one in particular that has 100 locations, we all know who they are. Instead of them shopping for the best interest rate for you, what they're actually doing is seeing which bank is going to give me the most amount of money for your business. So at the end of it, you walk out of there and you got 30 points taken off your score just because they decided to send it to 15 different banks. And one bank is going to give them probably a really good interest rate. Let's just say like a 4.9. and they're going to say, okay, I'll give you $2,000 for a commission. Here's a 4.9 for your customer for this many years, yada, yada. But what's more appealing to the larger dealerships is more money from your deal, every dollar that they can take. That's why there's hidden fees. That's why they don't mention that they're going to give you thousands of dollars to save you in all of this. They're basically going to find the bank that's going to pay them the most amount of money for your business. So, and I mean, clearly the dealership can read you. The people you're working with can read you very well. If you happen to be an uneducated customer and they can tell that, you may in fact be stuck with a 9.9% interest rate, because that bank that's offering that 9.9% interest rate is going to give that dealership $3,000 or $4,000 for your business. That's way more appealing to them, because chances are, with the experience that they're preparing themselves to give to you, you're probably never going to want to walk back there in the first place. So we better get every dollar from you as we can the first time around, because we may not have another chance, or you're going to be stuck in this thing for the next 30 years not being able to pay it off. So again, I'll never see you again, so let me take every dollar that I can. Ultimately, and again, going back on the not understanding the terms real quick, just to clear that out, a lot of people don't want a long term on your RV. Believe me, I get it. I didn't want a 30-year note on my house. Like, I'm not even 30 years old yet. If you think the idea of having a 30-year note over my head is enough to keep me up at night. But I really wanted that 2.4% interest rate, right? So I'm playing the game just as if we are describing and explaining to you folks that are watching, is to play the game. We're going to set the term for the RV up on the longest term. So let's just say $20,000 is eligible for 12 years. Okay. It might scare you, but that's the only way you're going to get the best interest rate. So do what I did. Take the longer note, make half of that in a payment. So again, I took a 30-year note on my house. I make a 15-year payment. All of the extra money goes straight to the principal. You're doing yourself a favor. And honestly, if you did, only finance 5 or 6 years, not only would your interest rate be way higher, and I'll explain that in a second, but your monthly payment will be as well. Get a better interest rate and make that same monthly payment that you were prepared to do, right? Same thing I do on my mortgage, same thing everyone else does. But yes, the term with an RV, that's where it gets different. The bank wants to see on paper that they're going to make as much money from you as possible. And a very large portion of RVs end up going to a park anyway and sitting. So the only way that they could be totaled out or a risk for the bank to loan on would be if a tree falls on it or if it gets flooded out, right? Or I guess your occasional fire or something like that. But ultimately, it's a very low risk to the bank to be able to loan that money. So they want to say, hey, if you keep it open longer, I'll give you a better interest rate. That's going to give them an opportunity to make more money off you on paper, okay? But that's how we're getting all this money back from the bank, guys. I'm setting this up on a term that if you did keep it open for 10 or 12 years, believe me, they're going to make some serious money from you, but you don't have to. I guess before we wrap up with the financing, I want to explain how this applies to the cash people.
Yeah, explain that, because Lorinda also asked about she can get a 2.49% at her local credit union compared to the 4.5%.
Oh,
this will help her too, because with what you guys are doing with that finance discount.
So first I want to talk to Mrs. Hessler. So I did the same thing with my RV. I bought it through here. U.S. Bank gave me a 5.9% interest rate. Okay, this was on like a $46,000 purchase. So I want to say is what I was out the door with taxes and everything. So basically, I went through U.S. Bank because I put all of my business through Honda Federal Credit Union. In our area, you either work at RV Wholesalers, Airstream, or Honda, because they have like 4 plants. Airstream's right down the road, and then we're pumping out a ton of RVs right now. So we're like the 3 major places for career opportunities. But I give all of my business through Honda. My house, my boat, my cars, my motorcycles, anything I finance, all goes through Honda. Airplane, yeah, right. Yeah, I wish. But it's because they always treat me so well with the interest rate. 2.4 here, 2.9 here. I had a 1.9 for a period of time. Like it's unheard of interest rates. But not one time have they ever said, "Here you go, Mr. Durnell. Here's a check. Do with it what you want. Have fun. Maybe buy me something."
Like, thank you for financing.
They've never done that, and it was so funny on my and I was always under the impression that credit unions are staying in house. Well, when I give my mortgage to Honda, I get a note from the bank about 30 days later, some bank in Cincinnati I've never even heard of, never talked to in my life. Apparently they own my house. So Honda goes behind my back and sells my loan to a larger bank, a more federal reserve, I'm assuming. And I can only imagine the amount of money that Honda made for themselves by doing nothing, literally nothing. But that's what's going on behind the scenes. So what I had done, Lorinda, is I had kept, and that's what I'm going to get into with the financing and with cash buyers too. I kept my loan open for 12 months through US Bank at a 5.9 because they gave me $4,000 back in reserve money.
The dealership
gave
you
the bank gave the dealership and the dealership gave me.
Okay.
But and the only requirement was to keep that loan open for 12 months. So what I did was I satisfied those 12 payments. Now my monthly payment was about $500. I drug it out to a 12-year term. The only catch was that I could, sorry, I said that back. It was a $300 monthly payment, but I was putting more down. I did a $500 payment, so $300 on the principal and the other $300 on interest, the other $200 on principal. I'm sorry, I didn't have coffee this morning, and it just shows. So anyway, but that same thing. The only catch was going to the credit union. They did give me a very, very competitive interest rate. I was at a 2.9. I still currently am. They didn't give me any money, but again, I took all of the savings from US Bank. They took. I never did the calculations, but let's just say they made $350 from me in interest over that first year.
So you threw away $350, but you got $4,000 back.
$4,000
tuition that
yes,
went to the dealership that they passed.
Exactly. I still saved in a year $3,650. It's a no-brainer. But again, credit union, they only let me borrow to an 8-year term. So my payment comes out to be $500, which I was already making, but now that's still less money that's coming from me in interest. Guys, all I did was I played the game, and I happened to know the game, so I was able to play it effectively. And again, I saved $3,650 on average over that year. That's a huge chunk of money that I don't have to work harder to get or stay late at the office for. I mean, it's a huge difference.
So say it one more time. So if you say it's $100,000 motorhome,
mm-hmm.
and you have saved all your life, retired, got the cash, not a problem. How would you kind of set it up to play the game?
So with the cash buyers?
Yeah.
So this is without a doubt. If nothing else makes sense, this should for you. So with any of our banks, let's just say I'll use an example. 12 months is the contingency. You got to keep it open for 12 months, okay? Because they got to at least make a couple bucks from you, right? But at the end of the day, if you let's just say $20,000. All right, you're buying a camper at $20,000, and in a perfect world, your monthly payment's $200. So you have to make 12 payments of $200. That's your minimum balance due, and that's $2,400. That math, 12 payments of $200 is $2,400.
Yep.
Now you finance $20,000, so you're going to take $20,000 minus $2,400, which is your 12 payments, and you're going to be left with a number of $17,600. So for my cash buyers, all that money that you're going to give me, you put down on your first payment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That not only satisfies the first payment, but now you have $17,600 that goes directly to principal that cannot be collected in interest from you. So, and I've done this
simple interest.
Yeah, I've done this math before. I'll do it again just to make sure. But let's just say $2,400 times, I'm going to shoot in the middle. I'm going to say a 5% interest rate because I think that's fair or average, if you will. That's $120 that they will have made from you over a whole year. Guys, that's
all you're throwing away. You're throwing away $125, but you can ask for what, a couple thousand maybe.
You're getting 20. Yes, if you're $2,400, again, I'm trying to use small numbers to where it makes sense, but yes, you do that math. I still saved you $2,250 some dollars. Actually more. I'm trying to do quick math in my head, but I still saved you a ton of money. What we're doing is consider it a game, but also look at it as I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, my customer being Paul in this situation, right? And I've only had one person ever feel bad or question me on this. They say, how do you do that? Why do you do that? Why wouldn't you? And why? What about the banks? I guess he wasn't grasping it. And I said, sir, if you feel bad for Bank of America when they make billions of dollars a day, I'm sorry, we don't live on the same planet. I mean, at the end of a year, if you think they're going to miss $2,200, you're wrong. I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
They made the 12-month rule, so it's not like you're violating it.
They made the rules, and they're giving me this money regardless. Like, so again, all we're doing is we're playing the game, and that's how we're able to save a lot more money than even our competitors are willing to. Because at the end of the day, like, and some people use this against me. They'll say, "Oh, you can get that price, but you got to finance, right?" Like the guy that sent me the email yesterday. Well, okay, yes, but I want to, that's my way of trying to save you every dollar that I can. The other dealerships, if you don't finance through them, they'll give you that price, but then they absolutely screw over the people that do finance with them. So it makes up for the people that didn't. Come on, you're still giving a dishonest dealer your business. At the end of the day, no matter how it looks, you're still giving a dishonest dealer your business that has to screw people or other people over twice as hard because you didn't let them. Just think about how difficult that experience is going to be when you have to depend on him to get serviced or warranty work, right? Like, it's not going to be a very excellent place to be. I'll put it that way. But yeah, that's the financing secret. Is
that's good, because they can ask for this. They go into a dealership, maybe hold that card to the end, and then just lay it out there. It's like, okay, so if I'm financing with you, obviously you're getting money back from the bank, the dealer reserve. How much of that you're going to give to me? Josh, you said that you guys will. What do you call it? It's like a finance discount.
Yeah,
so you're upfront about it. But if they're not upfront like that, just ask. As the salespeople, probably half of them don't even know that this is happening behind the scenes. So you might have to talk to the finance manager.
Probably accurate. Yeah, a lot of them probably don't even know about that, or they're just trained in other things, and that's the finance guys. That's also. I mean, I've heard this from a lot of people, hey, everything was great with the salesman, but as soon as I talked to that finance guy, man, I got a bad taste in my mouth. I said, well, it's because that's where the real money that they're making from you comes, and he's got to come on strong sometimes. And I mean, seriously, this is stuff we hear, and it's typically found the opposite here. But again, we try to do things differently. At the end of it, we don't need paved driveways. We don't need marble floors in our showroom. Like, we're here to sell campers as cheaply and effectively as possible. We don't need all the things to look pretty. The Taj Mahal dealerships, it may look very nice. It may make you feel warm and fuzzy when you go into them, but at the end of the day, they built those off of all of the tears and the hard-earned money that they've taken from people and not given. Yes. So.
No, that was good. Thanks for helping figure out that whole finance thing. That's a big area, and that's probably one of the biggest areas, price, because like you said, price is wrapped up into this. So the fifth thing, a lot of people don't think about service, and then I was going to throw in a sixth one, and we'll briefly touch on this, is about extended service contracts. Like, how do you get service later? But I'm curious, and we're getting some questions like, how do you guys say our friend buys it in Florida, like, how do you take care of somebody that's in another state? Because that is a big question. It's like, well, you gotta buy a local, but I know in my experience, like, I never take my RV and go camping like in my neighborhood. Like, I'm always 3 states away or 2 states away camping, and that's Murphy's Law. So that's when it's going to break down, is when I'm camping and using it. So yeah, how do you guys deal with that? I mean, I know the answer, but
you do, yes, sir. But this is our proprietary offering. This is something that we actually constructed. We founded. We're the first to do. We're the only people to do it, which I think is funny, Tim, because there's a dealership up the road, about a couple, hour or two. They used to call themselves the town that they're from, RV Super something, Super Center. And it's so funny, once we started to do the things that we did and just took off, like seriously, like the most of these things being unheard of still to this day. I've seen other people, like this gentleman in particular, he changed his name to RV Wholesalers 1. And I was thinking, like, wow, that's really original. I wonder how long it took you to come up with that, but at the end of the day, he's seen what we were doing and taking off, so he wanted a piece of that. And it's so funny, like, everybody copies everything that we do, except when it comes to service. I've always thought that was so funny, but it's because it's not, first and foremost, it's not easy, and it's very expensive to do the things we do. And I'll get into that, of why we are the only people. It's not that we are the only people that can do what we're offering. We're the only people that want to. That's truly what separates us from the rest of the industry. So nationwide service network, that's what we called it. That's the name of it, nationwide service network. First and foremost, there's no contractual obligation in the RV industry. Okay, so and I just wanted to explain why we do what we do, to explain how we do. So no contractual obligation in our RV industry. If you buy a Ford, Chevy, or Dodge, every Ford, Chevy, or Dodge dealership that you go to has to service your car. They are contractually obligated to do so. In the RV industry, the manufacturer actually recommends that you buy locally because they're the person you buy it from is the only place that has to service it. So if you do buy the RV from me, there's a chance that your local dealer isn't going to service your trailer. There is, because you didn't give him the opportunity to screw you out of money and probably spend $5,000 to $10,000 more than what we're asking for it. You didn't give him that opportunity. You were smart. You walked away. Now he's going to make you regret that. Or if you don't buy it from me and it's still in the negotiating process, he's going to instill fear in your buying mindset. He's going to tell you, sure, drive to Ohio, save thousands of dollars, but you can't bring it here. I'm not going to work on it. And you're going to ask why. You sell the same product. Well, I don't have to. I got to take care of my customers first. So I mean, it's all nonsense. It really is. At the end of the day, he could do the same things that we could. He just chooses not to because you didn't let him make a killing off of you. And I see that a lot down south, Texas and Florida, Louisiana, Alabama. Not too familiar with, or haven't heard too many horror stories over towards the west side, but I hear a lot in those states for sure. If you pull in and there's another dealer sticker on that trailer, they're not touching it. It's crazy, but they don't have to. In the car industry, we have Napa and O'Reilly's and AutoZone on every corner of every city. In the RV industry, we don't have any of those. All of the parts come from the manufacturers or their warehouses. So, and again, I'm not saying that everybody will turn you away, but at the very least, you go to the back of the line because you didn't buy it from them. They want you to regret that decision, and it sucks sometimes because if those customers decide to listen to that local guy and let that fear, sway their decision, well, here's what's going to happen. And I'll tell you another quick story. A lady from Oklahoma, she was going to travel to Texas to pick up the same Rockwood signature fifth wheel that we had on our lot, but it was $15,000 more. She didn't even believe. I mean, she even asked the guy. She says, "So what's up with this? Why are you guys at this price and they can sell it to me at that?" He says, we actually get our trailers from there. We actually buy our campers from them too. You can't. They don't sell to the public. Well, I don't know why you'd say a lie like that, because guess what she did? She called me within about 20 minutes after leaving that dealership. And she says, "Hello, is this RV Wholesalers?" "Yes, ma'am. Hi, how can I help you?" "I was just wondering, do you guys sell trailers to the public?" I was joking with her. I said, "Well, I don't pick up the phone for my health. If I did, I certainly wouldn't be 20 pounds overweight, And, we're laughing, we're talking, and she couldn't believe it. She's like, "What's the catch?" And I explained to her every single thing I just explained to you guys. They're in Texas. I'm in Ohio. The cost of doing business, the price, the supply and demand. They're proud of that thing. They're going to sit on it until the right sucker comes around and gives them their asking price. "Oh, okay. Well, what do I have to do to buy yours?" "Easy. Do this, do that." We did a deposit and a DocuSign within the first hour of that conversation. She could not believe that this was legitimate. Well, she takes my purchase agreement back to that dealership, kind of behind my back, which is okay. She told me about it later. We laughed about it, but she went back there and she says, "I'm going to give you one more chance. Match this price or I'm driving to Ohio." And that guy looked at her and she says, "Honestly, ma'am, I don't care what you do. You can drive to Ohio, you can drive to Florida, you can buy the trailer wherever, but you live here and you're going to need me to service this thing, so don't bring it here, okay?" Obviously, that didn't sit well with her. Not only did that salesman decide to show her a side of himself that he probably shouldn't have when you're trying to earn someone's business, but most importantly, it showed the true colors that if I don't buy it from you, then I can't depend on you. And so anyway, this kind of haunted her. This was like, it sat in the back of her mind. Sure, I can save a lot of money, but am I going to drive it back to Ohio every time to get it fixed? That's not the case here, guys. We have a nationwide service network because we see the issues in the RV manufacturing and the RV warranty part of this whole industry. And we've been able to acknowledge those holes and fill them with our services. So in the event that you are living in this RV or traveling in this RV or camping in this RV, doesn't matter what state you're in, what city you're in, what town you're in, it doesn't matter. You call us when you have an issue and you tell us where you're located and what the issue is. Because we have over 2,800 service centers on contract that we have actually worked with in the past, and that continues to grow. There's more service centers out there than there are dealerships, and I want to stress the word service center. A service center doesn't care where you bought it from. They don't care how much money I saved you. And most importantly, they don't really care what type of RV it is, because at the end of the day, the water heater that's in that, I'm just using Rockwood as an example because I just sold one, it's fresh on my brain, but the Rockwood water heater is the same water heater that's on 80% of the other campers out there in the world. Same with the air conditioner, same with the refrigerator, same with every other thing that's going to break on that thing. So a service center, being that they are certified in the category, they're going to be able to service it no matter what decal is on the side of it. Makes your experience a lot easier and a lot more convenient. It makes my job a lot easier and a lot more convenient, because I can send you to somebody, or I can send somebody to you. There are plenty out of that 2,800 number, plenty of mobile technicians that will actually travel to you to service those issues. And that's a really big key to our success here. And again, we're the only ones in the whole industry to offer this. I can't stress enough that we're not doing anything that no one else can do. Like we don't have like a patent on this, right? I mean, I don't even think that would exist, but we're the only ones that want to. Why? How can you copy my name, lower your prices to match mine so that you're not making $10,000 on each camper, you're down to making 1 or 2 like we are? How are you able to do everything as far as the first step of the process, which is getting the money out of your pocket, but you don't offer anything after the sale when it comes down to actually meaning something? And that's what I said at the very beginning of this. Price is very important, but in the RV industry, it's not everything. It's a totally different animal. That $50 or $500 that you could have saved, from buying from one of my competitors here in Ohio, that's great. If that's all you're worried about, that's great. Then that they could offer you a better price than what I could at the time. However, they don't do anything. You either have to bring that RV. Let's say that you're in Tennessee and you purchase from my guy down the road. And I don't mean my guy, it's a competitor of mine that nobody likes, but that's neither here nor there. But let's say that you buy from him. If you tell him that you're working with me, he's going to drop his pants and give you the absolute lowest price. He'll probably even lose money because he hates me so much. That's cool. Long story short, congratulations, you found a great price. But when you take it back down to Tennessee or Georgia or wherever the heck you're coming from, and you have to rely on your local dealer to try to get that RV serviced, good luck. All that money's coming right back out of your pockets. Because not only are you going to have to orchestrate everything, you're going to have to call around, you're going to have to find somebody that's going to get you in, you're going to have that trailer sitting on a dealer's lot for weeks, months, who knows, just for them to get it up and diagnose and do all this. But then you have to pay for the repair, even if it's under warranty, and then you have to fight for your reimbursement from the manufacturer, and then you have to go in line with 200 other upset customers, and you're all battling for the same thing. And at the end of it, you don't even know if they're going to pay you for the issues that you had to come out of pocket for. That sucks. You may as well just start ripping out your hair, pulling out your teeth, because that would be way more fun than what would be to go through the process I just explained to you. That's why we stress, guys, we are your advocates. We do every single thing I just mentioned for you. So I guess now I am using this as my podium, right? You know what I mean? But this separates us from everybody else. This is why we're one of the first people on the Google searches that you're looking on these RV traders. We're considered the most largest and reputable dealership for most of the Forest River products that we carry. That's
no, you've earned it, man. Don't feel bad, because you've given us so much value up to this point. Yeah, and then now you're allowed to explain what you guys do.
At the very least, I just wanted to explain, this is unheard of. And again, I'm not saying that we got the best price. I'm not saying that we're the most perfect people here at all. We're still humans. We still make mistakes, right? But for every one person out there that hates us, there's 100 people that are willing to die for us, because what we've been able to accomplish, or the mountains we've been able to move for them, are simply unheard of in this industry. And that's what makes us who we are. So yes, at the end of it, that's the service. We'll just one more thing, because I know we're getting close to the time.
I'm going to put up your contact information because we're running out of time. But
That last thing though, the whole process of paying the bill and all that stuff, because you guys are probably wondering, okay, what happens when I'm in Florida and my air conditioner goes out and I gotta have you send somebody to me, right? What am I subject to? Do I still have to pay that? Not with us. As long as you're under manufacturer warranty, we will pay that bill. So we'll send the guy to you. We're going to pay the bill for the labor, the parts, and everything. The only thing that our customers could be subject to would be service call. Okay, that's anywhere from $50 to $125 is the highest I've ever seen a service call. The manufacturer doesn't cover that. We try to get it rolled into the repair bill. Some cases it doesn't happen. So ultimately, that's the service that you should be having. But again, we're very proud that we're the only people to this day that offers anything like it. And that's who makes us who we are. It's the service. So yes.
Yeah, no, thanks, Josh. That's really, really helpful. So here's your contact information. If anyone has questions that we didn't get to answer or didn't want to put it in the chat, shoot that out there. As we wrap up, tell me your dream. Like, where are you going to take your RV? Like, some people say Mount Rushmore. Like, I mean, I just want to hear some of your fun spots that you're planning to take your RV or what you plan to do with it. That'll be fun as we say goodbye here. So, and Josh, do you mind if the first two people, I wanted to give them a little thank you for hanging out with us for this hour and some minutes. Do you mind if I have them put in the body subject, put in 500, and we're going to give them the first two people, $500 credit towards delivery of their RV to wherever state they're at. Obviously in Ohio it's free, but if there's anyone that's buying an RV in the next 24 hours, say, and they put 500 in there, that you'll hook them up.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Tim. That'd be awesome.
And I know some of you aren't at that point yet, but if you've been looking and you got a pretty good idea, Josh can help you with that and hopefully get you a good deal on delivery. So
absolutely. Well, and that'll help with the gas prices that continue to raise. And I'll tell you guys, if anybody is in Ohio and they see that and are interested in it, please know we do free Ohio delivery. Okay, but I can still help you out with the cost of the unit. Okay, so yeah, I mean, as long as it's okay with you, Tim, I'm sure the owners approved it, right? It's better to ask forgiveness than permission anyway. So let's just roll with it.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. Go to RV Wholesalers on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, put in RV Wholesalers, subscribe there, and you can see more information on like warranties and stuff. We didn't get time to get into that. But you want an exclusionary type of warranty that'll cover the most and pay the bills. So,
or at least know the difference between. There's two. Yeah. Do we have other videos on that already? Or
there's some out there. Actually, or just email Josh and he'll get you.
I can always shoot the link and stuff. Yeah, there's very important subject. I wish we had more time for, but thank you everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us for this time. And we will look forward to helping you out. Anybody, as Tim mentioned, any more questions, my telephone number and my email are open to you. Please don't hesitate to use those. I'll be here to help you out any way I can. So, all
right. Appreciate you taking time. I know you're busy and have a lot going on, but
I like doing this stuff.
Really
this is fun. I appreciate everybody. And for everyone tuning in again, thank you one more time. And I look forward to hearing from some of you folks. Looks like you're interested there. So we'll be happy to help anyone.
Cheryl's going to the Adirondacks with hers, so that would be cool.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see that now.
All right, cool, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.